here's Brody Brazil.
You know, I've made a lot of videos here on the YouTube channel, and I'm pretty sure, not 100% certain, but pretty sure that none of them have ever centered around Omaha, Nebraska. And that's no disrespect to Omaha, I promise you that. It's just that I've never had reason to cover this particular city in the state of Nebraska. And I really never thought it would come to this with the Tampa Bay Rays, although in recent weeks and days I've seen discussions on radio programs and social media. Some of you have sent me the links about a potential in Omaha, Nebraska for the Tampa Bay Rays, whether it's a trial basis, whether it's a temporary situation, whether this might be the real thing for the state of Nebraska. We're going to investigate the potential of the Rays ever stepping foot in the state of Nebraska to play right there, that beautiful stadium. It's only a little bit more than a dozen years old in Omaha. First, we need to revisit the Rays situation, and there is a lot going on here. I mean, look at the amount of text. There's several different interesting things going on all at the same time. Tropicana Field, first off, their former home, who knows if it'll ever be their current or future home again. Tropicana Field still needs about $60 million of repairs and is not going to be ready anytime soon. They said that if they started the work recently, it could be done by the start of the 2026 season, but now that we're delayed and this might not get approved until January, February, beyond, or ever, maybe it's until 2027. And the Rays right now are very fortunate to have Tampa's Steinbrenner Field. It's the spring training and minor league home, single A affiliate of the Yankees. They've got that squared away for 2025. So at least right now, there's no question where they'll be at for 2025. And it may not be perfect, but the Rays may not have this option past next year. I mean, this is great for 25. It's a $15 million rent situation. The Rays will pay the Yankees to play at this stadium and cover up all the Yankees logos and stuff, but it may not be an option for the Rays past 2025 if Tropicana Field doesn't get fixed, if they don't get something else figured out. And I am not hoping for relocation. I'm not suggesting that as part of this video. I'm only here to explore the option of Omaha. Like, is this actually realistic? Is it logistically possible? Is this tangible? Is this something we can actually grab onto and say, well, it could be a possibility or not? So who knows past this year if the Yankees will even let the Rays continue to rent out their stadium. It sounds like that won't be an option, but you absolutely never know until it comes to it. St. Petersburg and the stadium that the Rays have been planning there now for more than a year, it needs the Rays' commitment. I mean, it still needs a county vote, and maybe by the time this video is out, the county vote will have happened one way or the other, but the county has to be in on this as well, too. That is undecided, but a bigger question is the Rays' commitment. Are they good for the money? Are they still in on this project? It's now going to be delayed at least a year for their new stadium, so where exactly do they stand? Okay, all of that understood. That's the Rays situation. Now let's get to Omaha. Now let's get to Charles Schwab Field, which opened in 2011, has a capacity of almost 25,000. Like, we're talking on the cusp of big league baseball, and I do know that this stadium is expandable to about 35,000 seats. They built it on purpose with the ability to make it bigger if they ever wanted to. 30 luxury boxes right now. It also comes with club seating. Now, why did they build this? Well, to replace the former home of the College World Series, historically and traditionally held in Omaha. So they built a new stadium in 2011, and they're guaranteed to continue hosting the College World Series through the 2035 season. So they've got a long-term commitment with their main, I don't want to say tenant, but event that they host. It's also the home field of college baseball's Creighton Blue Jays, but in terms of what it's built for and the purpose, along with concerts and other events, it serves its purpose already. But this is a stadium that's also largely unused for the rest of the year. And I know we've talked about the details here. We haven't even looked at the visuals yet. I mean, come on. Of all the minor league ballparks that are out there, we've heard that Summerlin, Nevada might be the best in all of minor league baseball. And this really isn't minor league baseball. We've heard that obviously the Steinbrenner complex in Tampa is going to be just fine for the Rays, but look at this. And the skyline of Omaha off in the distance, and it's not much. It's not the biggest skyline, but what's not to like about this ballpark aesthetically or as an option? I mean, that right there kind of looks like a big league facility. A lot more of a big league facility than like what the A's will play in West Sacramento for 2025, 6, 7, and maybe 2028. So here are some advantages that Omaha has. And number one, availability. I mean, it's basically, from what I understand, a wide open schedule minus the College World Series games, which they already know the dates in 2026. It'll be from June 11th through the 22nd. I think they also have a conference championship that's annually held there. And yeah, the Creighton baseball team plays their games. But I hate to say it, if you could bring Major League Baseball into this stadium, you probably find a home for everything else besides the College World Series. That's got to stay here. That's what this ballpark was built for. That's what it's going to continue hosting. But everything else seems like you might be able to move. This ballpark has already actually hosted a Major League Baseball game. It was June 13th, 2019. It was a one-off between the Tigers and Kansas City Royals, and they held this on purpose 2 days before the start of the College World Series. Feels like forever ago. I barely remember this, but Major League Baseball was trying to tie itself a little bit more and better to college baseball, and so they said, hey, let's play a big league game 2 days before the College World Series, get some people in town early, showcase this ballpark, and from all I understand, the game and everything went well. So they've already been here before. They're not unfamiliar with it. Major League Baseball isn't. This stadium is also near Kansas City, right? But this would be a drawback. What if Omaha were too close to St. Louis or Cincinnati, or I'm just picking cities. Like, we know where Omaha is. Essentially, no other Major League Baseball team is going to say, hey, if you're right around the corner, come into our neighborhood and play. They don't want to compete for fans. Omaha is far enough away from everything else. Yeah, close to Kansas City, but not too close to any other Major League Baseball team, as so not to impede on anybody else's business. And yeah, it just looks like a Major League facility. And as things go, as options go and venues go, this one is out there. And I've never really thought about this because it's kind of far away from Tampa, St. Petersburg. 1,440 miles driving, 1,193 miles if you were to fly from point A to point B. The only other question about this, and we're going to get to some Omaha disadvantages, is if you're in the AL East, like the Rays are all the other teams like Baltimore and the Yankees and the Red Sox and the Blue Jays, are they going to be okay if you basically put yourself in the geography of being an AL Central team? They're not going to realign the divisions just for the Rays, but this is going to make travel inevitably a little bit different, or maybe not. I mean, maybe if you're Baltimore, what's the difference of going south to Florida or west out to Omaha? Actually, same thing with the Yankees or Blue Jays. Maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe it's less north-south. Maybe it's just a little bit more east-west. And maybe for them, it's all the same distance. But my point is here, it's far away from Tampa. I mean, this is a true departure. You got to up and move your team, and your staff and your players have to find a new housing situation. So herein lies the difficulties for a place like Omaha. Yeah, it's more like an AL Central team versus the AL East. I don't know who else has to approve that. But if that's a problem, moving geography is definitely part of this equation. Omaha's population, and not just for the city, but for the entire region, let's say, it's less than 1 million. 967,000 the last time they counted with the 2020 census. And as Major League Baseball franchises go and fan bases go, that's not big. And I don't know about the long-term sustainability, right? Temporarily, maybe then even there would be some challenges. That's a pretty big stadium too. With the situations like at Steinbrenner Field, I don't know, about 10, 12,000 seats. Sacramento, 10,000 physical seats, 14,000 total capacity. The A's and Rays for 2025 should be able to sell out their respective ballparks. But would the Rays sell out this stadium in Omaha at 25,000, let's say, 81 times a year? Because that's what the team is going to want out of this situation. So I don't know if there's a population, if there's industries, if there's sponsors enough to move this team on a temporary basis. But I mean, we're talking temporary. You know, in Omaha, they're going to wonder, could this be a permanent solution, realistically? I'm not here to say that yes or no in this video. We're really only exploring the possibility of would they ever even land there temporarily. But here's the real situation. If you're the Rays, and ultimately you're not going to land in Omaha, and you know that, why would you go all the way out there for a couple years? I mean, this would suffice. This would buy them some more time. But why wouldn't you go closer to your future home? And hypothetically, if it was going to be a place like Orlando, they already have that ESPN Disney complex, which could be fixed up even more and added on to, and they've already played some Major League, I think, exhibition games there and events there. The point is, why wouldn't you go closer to where you're eventually going to land than go to this temporary spot? And that's kind of the same situation with the A's, although Sacramento and Oakland have proximity, even though Sacramento and Las Vegas don't have proximity. But if you're them, why would you go all the way out here, all the way up northwest, if you're ultimately going to stay in the state of Florida or go somewhere else. So that might be a thing that goes against Omaha too. It's just not right around the corner. This is not the easiest move, but I'll be honest, when this was first mentioned and suggested, I scoffed and said, I don't see how that's possible. You do a little digging, a little research here, and you understand why this exists. This is available. This is open, and for fans of the Rays in Tampa, I'm not hoping for this. I mean, if Omaha were to ever get a team or Major League Baseball events, good for them. I'm not rooting against Omaha either. I'm not a fan of teams moving and playing municipalities against each other, but I just wanted to explore this as an option as part of the situation. That's the end of this video. Thumbs up down below. I would greatly appreciate that. Helps me and this video and this channel. And speaking of that, real quick, also go down there and make sure that you're already subscribed. That way I definitely get to see you back here next time.